Hey guys, Matt here from DCLblogger.com. This is going to be another land market analysis video. I'm going to go through some of the cheapest lands for sales, some of the best deals in the marketplace, some of the history of what's been going on over the last 2 to 3 months, and just been tracking just land marketplace sales and consistency, all that kind of good stuff. So basically, I've got a map, I've got a graph open up here from my dcl.net/stats. This is Decentralizer's website, I believe, and it's bloody good in terms of checking out the stats for Decentraland on a macro level. And I think we have a few developers doing a lot of stats work with Decentraland. Obviously non-fungible. We also have DCL Map, and we have DCL mydcl.net. So it's a pretty good website. And in this one, what I wanted to see is where we are at the moment in terms of land sales. So here we can see basically this is all of April, this is all of March, and let's kind of extend it a little bit more. Whoops, maybe that's I think that is the auction. Yep, that's the auction. So we can't really get much info from there. We might as well just skip past the auction. So December onwards. Actually, what we will do is let's duplicate this and have a look at pre-auction stats and post-auction stats, because we can't deny that at the end of the day, the auction brought in about 9,000 parcels into circulation. So we got to take that into account. Okay, so what do? We do this. Alrighty, let's take a look. So we have seen periods of kind of slow periods of land sales in the past. You can see here we've seen 100,000 mana, 200,000 mana are like lucky days, right? Back in August last year. August, March, May, June, July, August, September. I do remember September was when something crazy happened and we had a massive whale come in, basically buy a lot of parcels. I think he put in about 10 million mana into the marketplace, and he alone pretty much bumped prices up from 7,000 mana to 15,000 mana at the bottom. So that being considered, this point onwards, I mean, like, this is all not contributed by the one whale. It kind of set off a bit of a ripple effect with a lot of people watching the Decentraland market, and everyone kind of got involved where it kind of went a bit crazy, right? So it gives you an idea as to what just a couple of factors, in this case just one factor, can do to the whole marketplace. So one whale comes in, bumps prices up from 7,000 to 15,000 mana, everyone goes crazy, a lot of other people start to see and want to buy, and that's what basically happens for the last few months of last year, September onwards. September, October, November, December, just before the auction. Basically have all of this. This is all pre-auction, and you can see there's plenty of 1 million mana days. So this is 1.6 million. Here's about 1 million. You can see like this point has been crossed multiple times. If we're looking at the blue line, it's been crossed, I don't know, 15, 20 times maybe. Okay, and then how are we doing now? Okay, let's see what we're doing at the moment. This is 1 million mana, so it's not the same scale graph. We've got a different scale over here because we're working with larger number days, so keep that into consideration. This is a 1 million mana, and we don't really touch it that many times. In fact, we've only touched it once, right? This is post-auction. This is in the new year, so January onwards. What can we attribute this to? Okay, in the last few months, or in fact, pretty much a lot of April has been pretty slow. What can we attribute this to? So I'm going to go through a few different factors which I think is affecting the land market, but we're still doing way better than we were pre-September, right? Even if it's quote unquote a slow market, we have to understand that at the end of the day, a good 9,000 lands were introduced into circulation. We can't expect prices to consistently be like this onwards forever, especially in a crypto market. Let me put this over here, actually. Let me hold on to the mic, because there's a bit of noise in the background. We can't expect the market to continue at a high level the whole way through. So we have to be wary of that. Whenever something reaches its peak, usually it comes down in terms of volume and prices, which is exactly what happens with the crypto market. You're not always going to see Bitcoin trade at its all-time high and above, right? So the land market is pretty much showing us signs of following a lot of things that crypto does, like crypto coins and stuff, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all that. So it's good to see it from that perspective. So at the moment, we have this bit of a slow period, but at the end of the day, we're still doing pretty decent. We're still doing 300,000 mana days. In this day, we had 750,000 mana, but we're still touching 4 to 500,000 on the occasional odd day, and we're staying above 100,000 to 200,000 mana. Most of the times we're hitting 2 to 300,000 mana, which is pretty good. Okay, now let's kind of check out what the last few sales have been with Decentraland. Nonfungible.com does a good kind of gives us some good information on this stuff. The past day we have seen, which is the past day is the last 24 hours. Let me refresh this. So this is for this is for single parcels. This is for estates. So again, let me refresh that. For estates, remember they're on two different pages. If you click the last 24 hours, what's been going on? So we have 50,000 mana in volume. I think that's just a few lands. Page 2. Oops. Let's go to page 1. Previous. Is this one page 1 as well? Page. Okay, so we haven't had any volume in the last 24 hours for estates, but we have had some volume for. We've had a few sales come through for the single parcels. In fact, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sales come through for single parcels. A lot of them are at the lower price points: 9,500, 10,000 mana, 8,000 mana, 10,000 mana. I think these are all bid buys, meaning that people have bid and they've been accepted. Okay, with the states we haven't had much volume, but this is just for today. If you see the day before, or a couple of days prior to that, if you see one day before, we had, what's this, 60, 70, 85, almost 100,000 mana, about 85,000 mana in the day yesterday. And with estates, I think we didn't have, I don't think we had a sale yesterday with estates. Let's take a look. No, we didn't. But the day before that, you can see we had quite a few sales. So last 2 days we had a couple of sales. It was 140,000 mana worth for that. And a couple of days ago, just 2 days ago, we had 16,500. 40, 60, 75, 95, 125, 135, 145, basically 150,000 plus the 130,000. So we had about 280, almost 300,000 mana in sales a couple of days ago, right? So it kind of fluctuates quite a lot. And I think my opinion is it's mostly with what's going on with Bitcoin at the moment. If you take a look at the chart, and this is Mana BTC, let's go to BTC. Wait, yeah, BTC USD. Let's check out what's been going on with Bitcoin, because Bitcoin has been making moves, and you have to understand there is a correlation between land prices and the crypto market, because then at the end of the day, the coin is connected and the land market is connected to the coin. So Mana is connected to Bitcoin and Mana is connected to the land market, right? Because that's what it's traded in. So it is, it does make a difference with what Bitcoin does. And we've seen that pretty much all of last year. We've seen lower highs and lower lows, and basically Bitcoin going down from its all-time high, continuing to go down to quite low prices. And then we have November, we reached pretty big low. December, was another low. And then now since January, we've been on a steady uprise, apart from this little decline over here. But we have been on a steady uprise for the last 3 to 4 months. All of this year, basically, we've been on an uptrend. So slowly, the confidence, or let's say the attention, is being brought to the crypto market once again. And altcoins have seen a bit of a rise as well, because Bitcoin has gone up from pretty much 3,500 USD to almost 6,000 US dollars, right? So now even myself, like, I have to admit, I am watching the altcoin market. I am curious to see what it does. I am curious to buy some more altcoins, and Decentraland trading or investing is kind of taking a backseat for me. One, because I just have way too much land at the moment, and two, like I've already got what I want to get from Decentraland in terms of the lands that I want to be situated for the rental market opening. We know that's going to open hopefully soon, and the world launching. So I have what I want from Decentraland. So my attention has gone to the alt market, so the crypto market, just watching this stuff rise. So a lot of people, especially on these days where Decentraland makes a sudden uprise, or even like for whatever reason, Mana, like on any of the days where I think this was the day where they made the partnership with HTC, it just suddenly spiked up from 5 cents to 7.5 cents. We saw a lot of people dump their lands in Decentraland because they wanted to cash out. So they had their lands listed for 15,000 mana, but they were suddenly happy to sell it for 10,000 mana and cash that out into mana, and then maybe trade that into US dollars or whatever, maybe some other crypto holdings that they wanted to get into. And we have to understand, guys, that 2018 has been kind of a year that crushed a lot of people's finances, especially those that were in the crypto market. So a lot of people are quite starved from holding for so long that they need to cash out. They need to pay the bills. They have expenses coming up. I'm sure them investing early, at the end of 2017, they expected returns by this year. They were probably like, oh, worst case scenario, I'll wait 1 year, take my money out. And it's been a year, it's been more than a year now. So a lot of people have cashed out, right? And the prices that we see at the moment, both in Decentraland and not so much Decentraland, but basically the cryptocurrency market, it just kind of shows the overall confidence, right? It's a reflection of the confidence in the marketplace. We're seeing Ripple at 30 cents, which was pre-bull run price, basically. We're seeing Ethereum under 200 US dollars. We're seeing Neo under 10 US dollars. Where's Neo? It's all the way down here at almost spot number 20. And it's gone down quite significantly. And basically a lot of these are pre-bull run prices, right? So it shows the confidence in the marketplace has come to the point where it's completely pre-bull run. And basically there's not many eyeballs watching both the crypto market and the Decentraland Land Marketplace. So that being said, I think there's direct correlation with what we're seeing with the land market. I think as more people get involved back into crypto, as people become more crypto rich, we will see more people pumping money back into the land market. But personally, at this stage of Decentraland's development, I don't really want to see that much enthusiasm and craziness with the land market. This is the point where we need a bit of stability. This is the point where we need a bit of more the kind of the people that are interested into Decentraland needs to be more skewed towards content developers, people that are going to add value, not people that just want to invest and hold, but people that are actually going to add value, build, and all that kind of stuff. And we've seen that come out from the Decentraland builder contest. Okay, so from now onwards, I hope to see people that are buying lands to buy because they want to actually build something. So now I think there's going to be a bit of an NFT trading marketplace with Decentraland where you can probably sell things that you build, and then hopefully that should get a ton of people interested. And if that happens, and then you include the artificial intelligence company or the startup that Metaverse Ventures invested in that are expected to come to Decentraland as well, then hopefully there will be good reasons to buy the land, Decentraland land, and build something that you're proud of. Okay, so let's check out also the marketplace. We have a few tools to use for this, but you guys know how I roll. I like to see the cheapest prices first off, and just see how many lands there are under 10,000 mana, how many lands there are under 11,000 mana. So we have, I guess the land market has slowly and steadily continued to get cheaper and cheaper. Not significantly. I mean, there was a period where lands were under 10,000 and there was quite a lot of them, and then it suddenly spiked up to 12,500 mana, and then now it's kind of going back down to 10,000 mana. So I mean, I'm kind of seeing a zigzag pattern, but when it comes back down, it's still staying above, still trending above what it was like a few months ago. So we're seeing quite a few lands in the 10,000 mana range, but it's good to see that the first page, 12 lands later, you're up to 11,000 mana. And there's quite a lot in the 11,000 range, but basically once all of the next 12 lands are bought, we're back up to 12,000 mana ranges. Okay, there's quite a lot of lands that I think are decent deals at the moment. But to do that, I'm going to go to another map, which I like quite a lot. It is from mydcl.net. I think this is a collab with Spidey Monkey and Decentralizer. They make some pretty wicked stuff. It really gives you some insight as to how the world looks like in terms of the land prices and all that stuff. But if we were to uncheck all of these and just activate the lands that are under 10,000 mana, there's only two. I'm going to give you guys some time to find it. Let me check and uncheck a couple of times. I can see them. It took me ages to find the second one. The first one, if you picked it up, it's over here. It's obviously in the far outskirts, but at the end of the day, it's still close to some districts. So I feel like this place is going to have more value as more of this land gets sold up. There's a lot of land to be bought over here. There's someone with a massive estate for sale over there. So there's another one right down here. So the bottom left also has one, both under 10,000 mana. Are they good buys? Well, if you look at the Decentraland marketplace and what it's been no, I didn't want to do that. If you look at the Decentraland marketplace and how much land has been selling for, or the cheap end of land, you can see a lot of them have been selling for 10,000 mana and below, or at least pretty close to 10,000 mana. In fact, some of them even at 8,000 mana. A lot of people's bids are being accepted as they start to get more interested in the crypto market, like I showed you before, and I'm going to show you again. Bitcoin, especially recently, you can see, just ignore all the lines here. It's just me trying to do some sort of TA, but you can see that there is starting to be more and more confidence, and you can see with this green line of resistance when it was crossed with this big volume candle, it was like, whoa, okay, let's really start to watch what the hell Bitcoin is doing. And a lot of people's momentum, a lot of TA analysts started to change their tone from being bearish to a little bit bullish, and now you can see it's still going with higher highs and higher lows. So now all eyes are on Bitcoin. I mean, if it breaks this, start to test this 6,000 to 6,500 mana range, which we've been struggling to break. The bears were struggling to break previously, and if we break that, well, things are going to get pretty crazy. But now it's common sense that people are starting to watch or want to get more involved with cryptocurrencies at the moment, because it's showing signs of going crazy. So we're starting to see a little bit more FOMO in that direction. I think that's being reflected. That's affecting some of these people that are wanting to cash out. They're like, all right, 8,000 mana, whatever, I'm selling, and I'm going to put this money in Ethereum, etc., etc. That's why we have a lot of people selling for 8,000 mana, 10,000 mana, but we still see quite a lot of land sell for pretty expensive prices still. Like this place is still retaining its value, 30,000 mana. Still a few under 10,000 mana, but we see the odd ones that sell for 8,000 mana. Where were we? All right, so let's go back to our map. So those are lands under 10,000. There's only a couple of them. There's plenty of lands between 10 and 15,000 mana. There's a few over here. What are they listed? 12.5, 12.5, 12.5. It's pretty decent. It's in the midst of a lot of districts over there. If you can get it at this point, like if you can get anything under 12,000, probably close to 10,000, to 10 and 12,000 mana in the midst of all these districts, I think you're doing pretty well. What's this one for sale for? 13,587 mana. You have a couple over here, or maybe that's just one of them. This area I think is of interest because it's in the middle of Ethereum and DCL Conference Center. This is DCL University, so anything you can get over here I think is also a good buy. 12,500 mana over there. We have a couple more. I really need to zoom in. 14.5, 11.9, 146,000. Okay, so there's a 9 set over there. Is that right? At 16. Oh no, I'm talking about this one. Sorry. 13,985. So basically, if you can get them for 12,500 mana and under in the midst of districts, then I think you're doing pretty well. There's a couple over here as well. Let's take a look at these two. I think this one sold for really cheap recently. 14,900 mana, 14,990 mana. Whoa, 9,999. 50. Nope, that's not the one. 11,000. All right, so basically, obviously, the more central you can. Wait, what's this one? 11,250. Whoa, that is cheap. Is that real? I would buy that if that's the actual price. 4 parcel estate. Okay, I'm gonna buy this right here, right now, if that is legit. Hold up, guys. I think it was it was these two, wasn't it? Oh no, never mind. Oh, it's because the estate's been split into two. Okay, so it's 22,500 each. All right, well, you had me for a second. I would have bought that in a heartbeat, but nope, that's not the case. What about these two? 13,900, 14,750. So you can see that 12,000 mana is a pretty decent price to pay for lands that are in the midst of districts. I feel like these three, or we had a couple here, I believe, 13,500, a couple here, 12.5, 12.5. These are pretty good prices. Just take a look if they're actually 12,500 mana. I think they were. Alright, I'm lost. Which ones were they? Alright, so it's under this weird. Am I even in the right area? Okay, let's just look at the coordinates. 3768 minus 3768 minus 3768. This one. 60,000. No, that's 15,000 mana. Okay. Well, maybe he broke it up before. Well, this thing is a bit glitchy at the moment. I guess it doesn't update straight away, and the estate thing kind of confuses everyone, because making your lands into an estate actually creates another NFT token, and then dissolving it creates another NFT token. So I think that's a little bit hard to get right with these stats websites. But anyway, are there any lands that are connected to roads that are under 15,000 mana? Because those are the ones that, if that's the case, 15,000 mana is a decent price to pay for road parcels. Nope, no, not yet. All right, we probably have a lot. Can we not show estates? No, we can't do that. This one I bought recently for 650,000 mana. There's 55 of them. Which ended up being 12,000 mana. In fact, it was cheaper than that. It was 11,800 mana each. Pretty good buy. But I recently saw another massive estate I want to buy, so I'm selling this for 999,000 mana. Still really cheap, under 20,000 mana a piece. So hopefully a whale sees that and buys that, so I can buy what I need to get. Any lands that are connected to roads at this stage that are under 15,000 mana are probably the best. Are a really good price. So it seems that the market has gone down a little bit. Previously, lands connected to roads used to sell for about 17,000 mana to 25,000 mana. Some of them were pretty good, even all the way up to 30,000 mana for the lands that were in this area. You can see that there's no lands in this range here, but if you do that, there is, and if you do this, there's even more lands connected to roads. So it seems like between 25 and 30 is a good deal for roads connected to lands connected to roads in this area still. And it's still it's come down a little bit, because basically anything closer to 30,000 mana would have been a pretty good price, but now I think you can find some lands that are 25,000 mana, or maybe you can't actually. Okay. So I think what's starting to happen, and why we're seeing a bit of a downturn in volume, is because a lot of people have started to come in, buy the land of their choice, and hold on to them. So a lot of people have come in early, picked the deal that they wanted, and now there's a lot more holders than there are flippers, right? There's a lot more people holding on to actually build content, hopefully, or rent than people that are buying cheap ones and flipping it really quickly. Starting to see a lot of those flipping. Like for me personally, I kind of just continue focusing on getting larger estates and holding on to them. Or the previous me would actually flip quite often, right? And that involved a lot of negotiating, all that kind of stuff. But now, a lot of those people that I used to negotiate with, they used to be early investors, people that got in with when land was like 1,000 mana. So they were happy to sell it to me for 5,000, 6,000 mana. Now, when I need to negotiate, I'm usually buying it off someone that's purchased it for 7,000 to 8,000 mana a parcel. So there's a lot less room for me, and one, he doesn't want to sell it, two, I don't want to buy it. So a lot of those cases going on, and yeah, we get the odd deal that's really, really good, but it's definitely becoming more of a content creators. I'm getting more of a content creators vibe with the builder competition and more focus on content this year. So hopefully with that traffic coming in, it's going to change things around. So that's pretty much it, guys. We can go through the map one last time, but yeah, there is not as many good deals as there used to be, but there's plenty of opportunity to place bids. That's kind of how I got my estate over here. I'm not even logged in, but basically this estate I bought for 650,000 mana 10 days ago, and I mean the guy had listed it for 2 million mana, so I was just like throwing offers out there, and I ended up getting it. So there's plenty of opportunity if you are a larger investor to get some really good deals, because at the end of the day, there's not many people competing with you if you're bidding 300,000 mana and above. So if you can get some of these for that kind of price, then you might, I mean, if you have that much mana to spend, you probably can end up getting some really good deals. That's it, guys. The land market is at an interesting spot. I am quite interested to see what happens. Also, it's important to note that mana is at a crucial point at the moment, which also might give us a reason to follow the land market a little bit more the land market a little bit more closer, because there has been multiple times in the mana tokens history that it's touched this point of, let's just say, 900 Satoshi, 850 to 900 Satoshi, and it's bounced off it multiple times. Bounce, come up. It's kind of stayed between these two lines quite a lot of times, and it continues to do that. And we're at another point where we are set to bounce again. So hopefully, now onwards, we should see a little bit more activity with the land marketplace. Hopefully that will tie in with some new contest coming in, but let's see what happens. That's it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please share it, and I'll see you guys in another video.